Is Beastars worth your time, or is it just a load of old fuzz? Join me as we find out. That Man and his merch. Hello and welcome to That Man. That is my merchandise, and today we are looking at Beastars. Now, some series have a lot of prestige. Some series get a lot of attention before it's even been released over in the UK. And this certainly was one. This is one that has been winning a lot of awards and has been gaining a lot of attention, certainly in certain communities at least. And it's always one that caught my eye. People have been really praising it and they've been really excited to get excited for this one. So I thought I'd get excited too. And I didn't pick up volume 1 straight away. The reason being is that I just didn't see it anywhere. Viz tend to do a lot of stuff where it's 3 for 2 and stuff like that, and I tend to buy a few Viz ones every now and again. But I never ever saw these. So I couldn't justify just buying another volume outright because, let's face it, space is an issue. So I thought I'd buy it digitally on Comixology. And wow, Viz really need to think up their price point for some of these manga. This was pretty much the same price digitally as it was for a physical one. Not a good one. But that is not anything I can discredit Beastars for this is an interesting series. Now, I never really got away with Zootopia or Zootropolis, whichever way you want to call it, depending on your region. I don't know what it was, there was something about it where I just kind of couldn't get into it. There wasn't anything that kind of grabbed me, and I did kind of realise that certain people would enjoy it more than others. And this isn't anything against furries or anything like that, but they really enjoyed it, which was brilliant. They found something that they could call their own. And this is essentially going to be the anime or manga equivalent of that. Beastars is a story in which the entire world is animals. It's not really kind of like the Monster Musume kind of, oh, it's humans with animal features. It's animals with human features. Kind of the other way around. So, furries. Anthros or anthropod, you know, I can't say words today. So yeah, it is a bunch of beast people who are living together in this school. As we can expect, we've got the herbivores on one end and the carnivores on another end, and they live together in not really harmony. We start off with a murder of a herbivore, and it's kind of hinted that it's the carnivore. In fact, it's kind of hinted that it actually is the main character who we see on the front cover here. And of course that gets all of the herbivores up and kind of, oh, it's always you carnivores, we live in fear. And what I found interesting, and this is something I found interesting that it related back to Monster Musume, was that it very much is a tale of racism. The herbivores are very much, oh, well, we can't trust you carnivores, you stay over there. And the carnivores are just kind of like, well, we just want to get on with our normal lives. In fact, it's kind of one of those weird things that you kind of have to realise, is that carnivores rely on herbivores to survive. Carnivores will eat other creatures or eat other meat, whereas herbivores don't need the carnivores. And they're something that I feel that is very much important in this series, is that there is this caste system. It's like herbivores, carnivores, and herbivores are kind of always just like, they tend to talk down to a lot of the carnivores. Not to say that the carnivores are all innocent. I mean, one of them just looks like he's just straight up murdered someone else. But then I'm kind of like, this is the food chain. This is how the real world works. Something I found was rather interesting was that carnivores don't get meat. They get meat supplement. I'm just like, I'm not a vet, but surely that's not going to do something great to carnivores. And it's very much, I felt very much that the carnivores were very oppressed in this story, and I really enjoyed that kind of aspect, because so many times we see the carnivores, the lion is the king of the jungle, so the lion would be the king of the school kind of thing, but really in this, most of the main things go to the herbivores. They're getting like the best roles and stuff. They're getting the best in life. And I found that rather intriguing when I came to this series. Now, it's not all great because, like I said, I felt some of the stuff was a little bit forced. The artwork really was hit and miss. There was sometimes I was looking at the artwork and I was just like, this just doesn't even look finished. Now, I've had this issue with a few other series in the past. For example, My Hero Academia released a chapter that just genuinely wasn't finished. And I believe it was touched up for the manga volume. However, this still felt that it was very unfinished. Now, I'm not going to get hung up on this because manga artwork evolves over time. You see in a lot of series, you see in stuff like One Piece, you see in stuff like My Hero Academia, Yotsuba, that the artwork might start off as one thing and then will evolve over time. So I'm not going to discredit the art too much. However, it really made me struggle through the first few chapters. Once you kind of get into the series, it really starts running, and I really enjoyed it, what it actually was trying to portray once it kind of started running. It still felt very unfocused. I kind of felt it was trying to tell all of this stuff, but then it was also trying to force other kind of stuff into it at the same time. One of the things that I found was interesting is that they're kind of going to go with the wolf and the bunny girl as a kind of romantic thing, and I was kind of like reading, I was just like, yeah, that's fine, and then I was just like, are they going to be like, well, this is interspecies, this isn't right, and I was kind of like, I don't really know whether or not that's something I kind of wanted. Fair enough, I mean, it's going to be a Romeo and Juliet kind of story, but from what I kind of read, I was just like, I don't know. The characters, I liked some. The main character, I don't know why, I just didn't really enjoy the main character. I really enjoyed the Deer Boy. I don't really know why. Yeah, I mean, I can't understand why I would like the Deer Boy. Can't understand why at all I would like the Deer Boy. But yeah, he seemed rather interesting. I feel like the kind of, I don't know, there was some kind of things that I kind of wondered with the series, because the way the herbivore, the carnivore at the very beginning was portrayed, it was like all in shadows, and then we see the deer later on wearing this mask, and I was just like, oh, that's like a mask of a wolf, and I was like, oh, I bet it's going to be a herbivore who's just curious about eating things. But then that was another thing, it's kind of like, they had this whole murder, then it was kind of like, we had a little bit of echoes afterwards, and then it was just like, after a few chapters, it was kind of like, yeah, that's it. We're not going back to this until later, and I was just like, oh. And that was definitely probably the most intriguing thing, because I love a kind of whodunit kind of thing. And this echoes back to other series. One Piece, I can't wait to find out who the traitor is. My Hero Academia might have a traitor, we don't know. But like mysteries like this is like stuff that really got me involved with the series. And I liked a lot of the things that Beastars was trying to portray. I mean, even the title, Beastars, a star beast, and that is something that they're kind of like, oh, well, he wants to be a Beastar, and I was just like, oh, is this actually genuinely a thing? Is it not just the title? And it's like, oh no, apparently it's the star among beasts, the best of the best will become a Beastar, and I was just like, cool. Overall, with Beastars, it is a really good volume from what I read. While I still feel it was kind of just a furry Monster Musume, or furrier Monster Musume, there was a few things that I kind of didn't like, namely the artwork made it very difficult to enjoy, and the characters were very hit and miss. I never really settled on a character except maybe the deer that I actually would say I enjoyed from the first volume. I did enjoy a lot of the other stuff, like the minor characters. For example, the main character is a wolf, so he lives with other dogs, and I was just like, oh yeah, they're all bros and they're all really good friends, and I like that. I'm interested to see where the series goes, but I never felt like once I finished Volume 1, I never really went, oh, I desperately need Volume 2. I would just be like, yeah, I'll read it if it's on sale maybe, or if it goes on the Shonen Jump app. It's one of those series that I feel like once you go with it for a while, it will get a lot better. At the moment, I'm kind of seeing a lot of stuff it's been praised for that is like really relevant in other series that have kind of already covered this ground, and I don't know, like I said, there's something about the series that I'm just not enjoying about it. I can't put my finger on it, but while I enjoyed the story, like I said, the characters just didn't do anything for me, or anything like that. The character designs are in fact rather boring. I mean, like I said, there's not much you could do when it's just a wolf in claws and stuff like that, but the designs were boring, and quite frankly, a lot of the designs were really ugly. Like I said, this comes down to the artwork, so maybe I am giving it a bit more of a harder time with the artwork, but I don't know. It's something that I'm going to keep my eye on, but at this point in time, I'm not going to rush out, I'm not going to see it, or absolutely desperately need to read it or collect it. For this, I'm going to give it a rating of try it, because it's not going to be a series for everyone. And I think it's going to be one of those series that you're either going to love it, you're going to hate it, or you're going to have that little feeling that there's something about it you don't like, but you can't tell what. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours. What did you think of Beastars? Now, I've only read Volume 1. Let me know, does it get a lot better than it is? Does the artwork improve? Just let me know if it's worth continuing with, because I'm putting it out as a try it. I do want to buy more of it once it's kind of more reasonable price, but I never got anything that kind of felt I desperately need to know what's going on. And while the intrigue and the mystery was interesting, it wasn't enough to keep me going. But that's just my opinion anyway. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you did enjoy this, please leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.